and welcome to Ctrl Alt Delete, the alternative comedy quiz show here on SXTV. In the control seat today is me, your host, Daniel Lee Wright. On the Alt team, we have Kat Williams and Tommy Zaluki. And on the Delete team, we have Karam Grover and Lewis Symes. Our first round today is True or False, where we'll ask our contestants various themed questions, and they have to determine whether they are true or false. Today's questions are themed on James Bond. I'm not going to lie, the SU told me that it was James Bond week. I've seen no evidence of this. I'm pretty sure they lied. So, you know, they said there was going to be a James Bond themed pub quiz yesterday, like Monday, and there wasn't. There was one question. It was wasted. And to be frank, why, if you're not going to test me on my intense knowledge, which I've gathered from watching reruns of James Bond on Saturday nights alone on ITV1, then what's the point? With that, moving swiftly on, our first question is for Kat. Is it true or false that Ian Fleming, the author of the James Bond novels, named the eponymous hero after another author who was named James Bond?
Ooh, what would he be an author of, though?
James Bond sounds like some sort of like hardcore. Well, I don't really want to say it really, but James Bond doesn't sound like a normal name, if you know what I mean.
I mean, one of the reasons Ian Fleming said he picked it and that he liked the name James Bond was because it was simple but unimpressive. There's no like impressive feats about it. So if it is named after someone, he's just sitting there going, "Oh, thanks for that." My name is plain, is it?
Maybe it's really ironic, and the actual James Bond who it's based on is not anyone interesting whatsoever, and just writes really tedious books. Could be that.
Could be possible.
Or like James Pond, the Game Boy game.
Oh,
that was brilliant.
I can't see it,
Maybe
no.
it's actually named after him. So it's not an author as such. It's
So you think James Pond came first?
Yes.
No way. Is Fleming still alive?
I don't think so, no. He died in the 70s.
So he was quite old, so James Bond could be like a war hero.
So what do you think? Do you think it's true or false?
False? Do you think false? We'll go for false, because we don't want to...
Gonna go for false. It is in fact true.
Oh.
James Bond was in fact named after the author of Birds of the West Indies, James Bond. It's quite suitable he be named after a man who does nothing but obsess over exotic birds for most of his life.
So kind of similar to James Bond in his films then, obsessing
Exactly.
over.
Okay, next question is for Karam. Is it true or false that out of the 15 works of fiction Ian Fleming published, only one of them wasn't a James Bond book and was in fact a children's book, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yeah, it's probably
I can't. Well, I would like kind of a James Bond twist on Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That would be quite a better version of. I mean, you could have the child catcher's Jaws or something like that, and that'd put more of a twist on it. To be
Just
honest,
James Bond floating on in a shed.
Or no, like an Aston Martin.
SH posh bang.
I mean, 'cause the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car is a really old, boring car, and so at least you could kind of liven it up with some
Gadgets.
Yeah, and that would make it a more interesting.
But can you imagine a James Bond musical? I don't know if the actual original book is musical.
That'd be something. I think you should take the lead role. To be honest, I think you'd definitely be a suitable James Bond.
I have a license to kill. A license to kill.
To be fair, all the James
you
Bond
should
songs are like really good.
I just wrote that on the spot. Come on. So, what do you think? Do you think it's true or false?
Yeah, false. I'll say
we're going to
false.
say false.
You're going to false? It is in fact true.
What?
Ian Fleming did in fact write the children's book Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
You gotta be kidding me. Seriously?
I guess after 14 books of James Bond you would want to go in a different direction, but a book about a powerful man who obsesses over cars with gadgets and refuses to talk about the secret children he hides out of sight from the world still sounds like James Bond to me.
Also sounds like you though, really, doesn't it?
Thanks. This one's for Tommy.
Yes.
Is it true or false that to fight the Hollywood stereotype, not a single British actor has played a villain in James Bond film?
I'm trying to think of the villains now. You've got.
I think you might actually know this.
I don't know, but I think the Blofeld guy, like his arch enemy, I think he might have been English.
There are like 4 actors.
Yeah, I know, but I think all of them.
Blofeld. You think all of them were?
Yeah, because they were all bold, weren't they? They were
Not
all
all
like,
of them.
So they
two of
must
them had hair.
Really? Oh
The
yeah.
stereotype is the bald one with the brown suit
cat.
stroking the cat. But I mean, I hate the English stereotype. I mean, there's one film, Solomon Kane, which begins with, "There was a time when evil ruled the world," and then the British flag just floats past the screen. It's like, please, just move on. Why do you still think
We don't move on.
I mean, we're brilliant at being evil, but just stop picking us for being evil.
But our sense of humour is taking the mick. and being cruel to people. That is what we do. We drink tea and we insult people. Yeah. Oh,
I was scared there. So it was a double
What
win.
do you think? Do you think it's true or false?
I'm thinking that it's true because it was like old.
You think
I'd want to get this right because
So
I'm doing film
do you,
studies.
do you think an English actor has played a villain? Yes or no?
I don't think an English actor has played a
don't.
villain.
They
I
have.
think it's true. I'm sorry.
It is in fact true. A few British actors have in fact played the villain in James Bond films, including but not limited to Donald Pleasance, Charles Gray, Christopher Lee, Julian Glover, Stephen Burkoff, Sean Bean, Jonathan Pryce, Robert Carlyle, and Toby Stevens.
Oh yeah. Just
close,
those.
yeah.
You were quite close. It doesn't necessarily mean they wanted to follow the stereotype. They just might have wanted people that could act.
Of course, Seanie Beanie. He's evil.
Yeah.
He's always
Bean is
evil.
awesome.
And Christopher Lee, Dracula.
And
He's always
he has
evil.
never survived a film, I swear.
No,
No.
they always kill him off, which I think's good.
Who else dies as well?
All of them.
No. Who's that one guy who died?
point is James
Denzel
Bond
Washington.
kills him.
Every film just dies.
That is actually true.
I call it the Kenny syndrome.
Last question is for Lewis. The last
wait for
question
this.
is for Lewis. Is it true or false that Christopher Lee, famous for his roles as Dracula, Count Dooku, Saruman, and much more relevantly, Francisco Scaramanga, the man with the golden gun, is Ian Fleming's step-cousin?
I suppose it'd explain how he got the role, but
Well, I
I
mean,
mean, there's some sort of connection.
Christopher Lee is sort of the
It's
most
only family
awesome-
connections. No, he's not. He's not a good
He's-
actor, is he?
Are you serious? He's an amazing... We all aware
Oh
who
yeah,
Christopher Lee
he's
is.
alright.
He's
He's
good.
alright, I suppose. You know.
He's amazing. He's
He shines in Lord of the Rings. I'll give you that.
He shines in every film ever. Christopher Lee is an awesome human being. He'll get like one line in like a Tim Burton film, and he'll be in the beginning credits, like starring Christopher Lee and the others, Johnny Depp and my wife.
I don't know
I've
who
been-
he is.
You don't know
What?
who could.
Every Tim Burton film has
from
Christopher
India.
Lee,
I
Alan
know who he is.
Rickman, Johnny Depp, and Tim Burton's wife. Ever.
Yeah, but Tim Burton and Johnny Depp always play weird people. They can't.
Every
just,
single Tim Burton film is
It's
the
weird.
same.
Yeah.
It's
Every
black and
Johnny Depp
white,
film
death
is
and
weird.
something different is much more colourful than the real world. People fight conventions, it's awful. So, what do you think?
Then?
True or false? Do you think he was a step cousin or not?
What's the age
Oh,
difference? I mean, let's think about it this way.
I don't know. I haven't got. Well, if you say Ian Fleming died in the 70s, I would assume
Yeah.
he's a bit older than Christopher Lee.
Exactly.
But then step cousin's still possible though. I'd say it's a random. If it's not, because if it's false, then that's a ridiculous question. So I'd say true.
Yeah. Okay.
It is in fact true. He is in fact
Yay.
Ian Fleming's step cousin due to a marriage from his mother to a relative of Ian Fleming. He's been trying to be cast. They tried to cast him as a villain ever since the film Dr. No. He eventually got the role as the man with the golden gun. Although in hindsight, I don't see how an evil wizard, evil Jedi, evil vampire hitman with a specialised golden gun that kills in one shot could have ever been killed by James Bond. So yeah. At the end of that round, we're on 1-0 to delete. I have been keeping track. It's been brilliant. So
One
Not
point.
difficult. Yeah. if you had good teams, it would have been harder.
you'd be surprised. So yeah, at the end of this round, Alt has 0 points and Delete has 1 point. That's all we've got for James Bond questions. So from this point, you might learn something educational. You might not. Who knows?
Not as you as presenter, surely.
This round is called Deep Thought, where double points will be up for grab. 1 for the correct answer and 1 if they give a funny answer. So for Team Alt, it is common knowledge that Winston Churchill suffered from stage fright and fear of public speaking. What unusual method did he use to overcome this?
Damn it! I saw the King's speech the other week, and he
He's
said
not
that.
the king.
No, no, but
He
he's
was
in
the
it.
Prime
He's
Minister.
very grumpy in that, and he
King's
says
Speech is a
it. I
brilliant
swear.
film.
Yeah.
Can I just clear up? Is the stage fright the problem he gets at urinals, or is this to do with his speeches? Is this a separate
Fear
thing?
of public speaking. I don't think
right.
any
Fear of
man
public
has ever
toilets.
given a speech at a urinal.
It's always a first.
You'll be
you know.
surprised
You
at
can
SU
say
on a
it
Saturday
anyway.
night
Go for it, I suppose.
What? So he gave the speech from the urinal.
to the country.
We will fight them on the beaches.
While weeing. Yeah.
It's more effective that way, though.
Yeah, it would be.
How is it more effective?
We
Hey Germans,
will
take this.
It's more of a memorable speech.
For him, maybe.
Yeah.
You'll
So
never
we're
forget
looking at
that.
different ways for him
We're
to
thinking
be.
of his unusual method.
So not like looking at him naked, because that's not unusual anymore.
Well, Yeah, well,
Yeah.
your clue
Imagining
is
a naked
your clue is it was sort of a take on. I mean, if someone said, if you told someone you had a fear of public speaking, what tip would they usually give you?
Imagine the crowd naked. I always get told, which
Yeah.
which makes me more distracted. Because if I'm thinking of like my lecturers and things in a presentation naked, it's not a nice
You're
thought.
meant to think of them in their underwear, not naked. You've gone a
That's
step
never
too
mind.
far. You've passed from I'm nervous to I'm horny.
And you're not supposed to put yourself in them situations as well. You're supposed to be on speaking, not the one with them.
You're meant to.
Yeah,
think
you're not supposed to look down and go, I'm
ridiculous.
naked.
No, but I'm not thinking of me naked. I'm
Well,
just trying to make.
Okay,
people
well, your
see
clue
it
is
this way.
it's a take on this, but obviously keeping in mind he was from an older generation when, naked was like one piece of clothing. He would picture them with one piece of clothing missing. What do you think that clothing would be?
Okay, I reckon
If we
it's.
say our shirts, then the women
the
are going to
answer.
be doing. If we say the trousers, then the men are going to be.
I'm gonna say
Socks.
Their hats.
yeah, something abstract like socks or something.
The socks.
You're going to go with socks.
No, we can't go with socks. That's
Actually,
rubbish.
well,
Winston
we
Churchill.
could.
He's definitely a top. He's definitely a top man.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to-
Bowler
tops.
hats.
Tops.
You're picturing without their tops.
Yeah.
It's without their socks.
Oh, you're joking!
So listen to me all along.
The correct answer is that he imagined that everyone had forgotten to wear socks, or if they had socks, they had holes in them in the exact same place for everyone, because, if he pictured them without their socks, they would look ridiculous. So he would feel better at public speaking. Talking about his fear of public speaking, he once said, "There are two things that are more difficult than making an after-dinner speech: climbing a wall which is leaning towards you, and kissing a girl who is leaning away from you."
And going to the toilet or urinal.
No idea how we came to this. So you've got a point.
Yes.
I'll give you a point for comedy,
Yeah.
although
You don't deserve it.
I don't envy your question anyway.
Ooh.
Since the Earth is not completely spherical, gravity has minutely different strengths depending on your whereabouts on the planet. In what city is gravity's pull the weakest?
This is
Definitely
a
not
great
China.
question. Great comedy gold, this question. Give you that.
Oh yeah, oh
Absolute
yeah.
comedy gold.
The banter now.
Because China must have the
Yeah.
strongest, because that's
Like-
why they're shorter, because their ankles, they're up to their knees.
Is that not just a racist stereotype?
No. No.
We don't promote
honestly.
racism on this show.
No, my friend, he's Chinese, but he's another nationality as well. And he went home to China, went in a lift, and he's up here, and he said all his family round him were about this height
See,
on him.
I
And then he
thought
was
you
up
were
here
going to say he went home and shrunk when he came back. I thought that's what the story was going to go.
because of the gravity.
I never believed I was actually going to see this, but Cat Williams and our other contestants' views do not reflect any of the views of anyone else who does not say anything similar, or the management.
The man.
Okay. Where do they have
Oh,
lots
the
of
man
aeroplanes?
stopping us saying
Lots of
things like
airplanes.
this.
Airports
Everywhere.
usually.
Yeah, well, lots of aeroplanes and like hot water balloons. What's it called?
Hot air balloons.
That's the one. Then they'd go up better because there's less
So is it
gravity.
which city is the weakest or strongest?
Well, what city is the weakest?
City's the weakest.
Do you want your clue?
Go on.
Your clue is the country has been in the news quite a bit recently. Last year for a big disaster, and much more recently for Top Gear laughing at them a bit.
Oh,
I don't watch Top Gear because I
What?
can't stand the presenter.
It was literally in the news.
it was.
Oh, Mexico.
What is the capital of Mexico?
Mexico City.
Hey, I'll give you a mark for that.
Doesn't it sink 2 inches every year or something like that?
Something like that.
So it's going to be
Right.
under the ground.
Well,
And now to read my
I
stock
thought it said
joke.
that the gravity was weakest. So
Yeah, in
why
Mexico
does
City.
it sink? Surely
That's
it's
true.
pulling it
Probably
down.
for a completely unrelated. Can I read my stock joke?
It's built on a.
I spent
mud.
ages writing this. Let me read
It's gonna be
it.
Okay, let him. Oh, guys, let him have his moment.
Yeah.
All right, we've got to laugh.
Yeah.
Camera one. Okay. The correct answer is Mexico City, where the rate of acceleration due to gravity is 0.04 meters per second squared, less than in Oslo and Helsinki, which are the highest on the planet. Meaning that Mexicans are slightly lighter than their neighbours. But if Mexico turned to America and said, "We're lighter than you," it might get slapped by one of America's fat folds of fat for stating the obvious.
That was definitely worth the wait.
Can't laugh at the Chinese, but the Americans, why not?
Yeah.
Oh, they're good sports. They love Ricky Gervais. The rest of us will just fine. Right at the end of that round, the point stand at 2-1. Way, the voice in my head
Where was that comedy
agrees.
point? Where was that comedy point?
Exactly. Where
It wasn't funny.
You
It
weren't
We
wasn't
funny.
were absolutely
funny.
hilarious, and therefore I think we should get 2 comedy points to anything.
You're ahead. Why are you complaining?
Because I want more points. We're funny people.
Be
I don't
quiet.
think you know.
Well, then be ready for the next round, okay? The final round today is called Sir Quote-A-Lot. I will read out quotes from TV, and the first team to guess the name of the TV series or the cartoon it comes from gets half a point. There are no answers written on the sheet, so stop cheating or just ignore any answers that come from you.
Or just be funny for once and get a comedy point.
If no one gets, there's no comedy points for this one. If no one guesses the
joke's on me.
quote, then I'll come back to it at the end. If no one gets it, it's gone. Okay, is everyone ready? I hope you've all watched your junk and been alone for many an evening. Right. Good news, everybody.
6 o'clock news.
Yeah, bong! Hello, now you're news with Terry McDonald's. Good news, guys. We're not in a recession.
Good news, everyone.
Blackadder. I don't know. It sounds like a thing.
Friends is really
I'll come back to it at the end. I'll tell you one thing. I've been to a parallel universe. I've seen time running backwards. I've played pool with planets and I've given birth to twins, but I never thought in my entire life I'd taste an edible pot noodle.
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who can't give birth.
As soon as you mentioned that space, it's lost me completely.
It's not that. Shouldn't you be outside with your friends turning my shed into Mordor or Endor or something heartbreaking?
Lord of the Rings.
I was gonna
That's
say,
a movie.
yeah.
That's
It's not a movie, it's only TV shows, right?
It's TV shows.
Is it American or is
South
it British
Park.
or is it?
No,
Friends.
South Park are reviews.
It's clearly not
Jersey
well-known
Shore.
shows.
American Dad.
Because you don't need meth and you don't need speed because everything is better with a bag of weed.
That'll be like South Park or something.
Entourage.
Family Guy.
There we go.
Yes.
You got the first one right. The troon carrying the painting was bummed by the RAF. Come on, this stuff is
Winston Churchill's
classic.
memoir.
Clearly isn't that well-known.
I clearly don't.
The troon carrying the painting was bummed by the RAF. I'm sure
Your
there's someone in the
impressions-
studio screaming at me.
Your impressions really don't help.
Don't know.
Is it?
Do an impression of it. Is it like a comedy
It's
show?
a really bad French accent. The fact that it's
Oh,
a
hello,
French.
hello.
There we go.
Yeah.
Listen, don't mention the war. I mentioned it once, but I
Can we
think
tell
I
us?
That's it, guys. Behave.
I'm from Torquay.
Okay,
so I get
well,
that.
people
Essex,
please
you
put
get
their
it.
hands up before they answer this time, and I'll go to you, alright? There's more to be seen than can
Just keep
ever
the
be
hands up.
seen. There's more to do. Hang on. Sorry, that's The Lion King. It's been said a few times.
That is the line.
Oh, I thought you just stopped halfway through the
Why
quote.
would,
Yeah, I know,
why
it's
would
too
they
good.
say in
Right, it's
the,
good,
why
it's
would
too
they
good.
say in The Lion King, sorry, that's The Lion King?
That could ever be. No. Okay.
Okay, so it must be some singing.
Come back to
Glee.
Dad.
Don't be such a smeghead.
Oh,
Wait, that's not very nice.
Red Dwarf.
There, okay, good man.
Got it.
I've had it up to here with Ewoks, and now stab him and wear his face.
Family Guy
Wars.
with the Star Wars one.
Can you name it?
I've
particularly?
never- I
Blue
just-
Harvest. Which one? Something Dark Side. The next one, which was It's a Trap.
There we go. And now for something completely different.
Oh, I've had that somewhere.
The voice in my head is getting it right.
And now for something completely different. With the the two Ronnies, no?
And now for something completely different.
No.
Oh, I know.
No idea.
You're not-
Save me, Barry.
Has to be Sean Barry.
No, Lewis.
Save me, Barry.
Chucklevision. Barry Chuckle. It was
You're
a good,
all
it was a
useless.
good effort.
I'd like to leave a message for the head of the Royal Flying Corps. That's Air Chief Marshal Massingbird. Massingbird, VC, DFC, and Bar. Message reads, "Where are you, you bastard?"
Blackadder. That is Blackadder goes for.
You wouldn't steal a handbag. You wouldn't steal a car. You wouldn't
that's at
steal
the
a
beginning.
baby. You wouldn't shoot a policeman and steal his helmet. You wouldn't go to the toilet in his
Family Guy.
helmet, then send it to the policeman's grieving window, then
American
steal it
Dad.
again.
Family Guy.
It's his English
It's
humour.
English. That's
Yeah,
right.
English,
That's
yeah.
that's why I don't know it.
I've heard of.
What?
I'm not saying recent, but
I just know.
I think you should do an impression. They always really help. Go on, do an
Yeah.
impression of it.
It's basically an impression of. In fact,
An
there's no
English
voice in the
person.
piracy thing, is there? There should-
We won't reenact it.
You wouldn't steal a car.
The funny thing is that's the best impression you've done so far.
And there's no voiceover. Okay. Is there any point in repeating any of these?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll repeat.
In a
Shouldn't you
different
be
voice.
outside with your friends turning my shed into Mordor or Endor or something heartbreaking? Because it keeps being said and it wasn't said until that
Can
point.
Is it American or is it British?
It's
South Park.
American.
Oh,
South Park.
no.
That keeps being said.
Simpsons?
Friends.
Shit.
Oh, no,
Is it British
You
or
said
American?
it 4 times.
American Dad.
There we
I
go.
said it when
That's
you
not very
actually
good.
Not at that
said it.
time you
I
didn't. I'm just gonna stop there and add this up. Give me a second. You got half a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It's so technical.
You got
You
3 to delete. Wow, I'll give him that one then. Okay.
get more.
So that's 1.5 to delete. And 3 points to alt. So that gives us 3.5. I don't know why I'm writing it down. I don't need to get 3.5 to delete and 4 to Alt. Meaning Alt have won.
Yeah.
Come on.
Again.
Don't
See?
fall
The
fixed.
comedy
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
You will go home, you'll watch these programs and be like, I'll put you up.
Your life will be different.
I'll tell
forever.
you one thing. I've been to a parallel universe. I've seen. I've never tasted an edible pot noodle. That's Red Dwarf.
Never.
What's that?
Because you don't need meth and you don't need speed. I think we got Family Guy for that one. The True and Caring. You got that one actually. There's more to be seen than can ever be seen. There's more to do. Hang on. Sorry, that's The Lion King. That's Doctor Who.
It's not a comedy program.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny.
Is it?
I do like Doctor Who. He is cool.
Save Me Barry is Misfits.
No,
yeah.
No idea.
Oh yeah.
Not the Chuckle Brothers.
Can
No.
I say, can I just point out that we're students who spend our time studying, not watching comedy programs?
Well, I'm doing film studies,
That's
so I
the
beg to
best-
differ.
If you're watching
That's
this,
Films,
then
not
you've
comedy
probably seen
programs.
some of those programs as well. And You Wouldn't Steal a Handbag and the whole piracy copy thing is from the IT crowd. Or the
Wasn't
IT
it IT
crowd,
or something?
if you will.
I've heard about that.
Okay, so at the end of the game, we have 4 points for Alt and 3.5 for Delete. I will hand out. Thank you, live studio audience.
Thank you.
I will hand out our complimentary pens,
Give us the condom.
condoms,
Yes.
the specialty of SXTV. If you're on our
This is extra
website,
small.
contact us and we'll find out a way to get them to you. If you're on YouTube, go on our
Actually, if I come
website,
on
you know the
YouTube as well.
routine.
I dropped a condom.
Pamphlet
Actually, give me
things,
something I could use.
use stickers. And our prize in our James Bond theme is a poker set.
Oh,
Hey!
Casino Royale.
Don't
Okay.
do anything in
on.
there.
Yeah.
A couple of chips, a
Right,
couple of
I'm
pack of
dealing.
cards. I might be pushing it. Anyway,
Right.
that's all
Who's
we've
in
got
for it?
time for. Thank God. Thank you to our guests Tommy, Kat, Karam, and Lewis. And we'll see you again on another episode of your alternative comedy quiz show. Good night. Save me, Barry. That's a very good impression. It's not Irish, but
That's what I'm
Right, so who's up for poker?
no one watches Allo Allo
No.
unless they're told it's in a French accent.
Yeah.
I will be needing that back, by the way. That's actually mine.
I'm dealer and I'm only setting out 2 sets of cards.
And you're
So
setting
I'm
out
playing
all
by
of them.
myself.
What game are you playing?
I don't know, I just didn't know what to
Okay,
do.
give me the card. We're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 card poker at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11
11 card
I got
poker.
an extra small card.